No. Good morning.
I'm really nervous. I don't want to sound like I'm putting it on. I'm nervous.
No, I get exactly the same when it's a surprise guest for me.
I can feel it in my tummy, just a bit of anxiety.
I know, it's so weird.
I don't know if I want to do any of this ever again.
I think this every time you go, you send me a text going, I've got a really amazing one for you. I feel like, because I could fuck it up and go, I don't know who that is. Or something like that, or
no, I'd make sure if I.
But I'm like, also, I don't know what to say to you. Like this one, right on my life. There's nothing to worry about because you're
we say that, but it could be, I don't know, it could be Jared Christmas, and I'm like, fucking hell, it's Jared Christmas.
It really could be Jared Christmas, but why would
I'm
that
in Jared Christmas mode?
Why Jared Christmas?
I don't know. I don't know. Fucking hell, I'd love it to be Jared Christmas.
I know. Because he's lovely and fun, and you could just go,
Yeah, I feel nervous.
I get exactly the same.
Do you know the ones that I'm trying to sort for you? I'd be nervous on them because they're big and there'd be big responsibility on me. And
well, the one I'm trying to get you, I'm like,
which Naomi knows.
Yeah,
because I've just had a chat with her in the kitchen.
And what does she say?
Oh, stop asking me questions.
Okay, I'm paid to do it a good light then.
Hey, mate.
No,
because I was just snapping at her heels. Tell me, if he or she appeared on another pod, would you go, wow, they've got him or her? Oh, stop asking me questions.
I was thinking last night, Petra was really into a programme I wasn't into, so I was talking to her and I could see her doing this and she was definitely going, right, if I don't answer he'll just blow himself out. And I knew what she was doing and I said, go on then, tell me. She's like, and I said like 4 questions and she just answered like all 4 really abruptly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good.
Actually someone from the circuit that we know and I've probably gigged with, and I'm like, oh right, it's.
I don't know if you know them. Genuinely, don't know if you know them. And so that changes.
So it's someone from the circuit, but maybe I haven't gigged.
Not from the circuit. No.
Oh, I feel sick now.
This is a good idea for a bit, but it's not enjoyable, is it? Like until it's sort of.
No, it's horrible. I'm thinking about all the others I've had. James O'Brien. That took a while to sort of.
Yeah, but you thought it was someone else, and it was all sort of. Who else have you had?
Terry. That was nice when it settled in, but to begin with, I was like, "Fucking hell!"
It's because you're hyped up, aren't you? See, I'm really relaxed about this one, obviously, because I know who he is.
Who he is? So it's a he from the panel show world.
Not panel shows, no. I don't think this person. No, they've never done anything like that. Or I could be lying. It could be all of those things.
Exactly. I hate this.
It doesn't matter what you say to me because you're not going to go, oh, I've got that.
Well, I've got you one for tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
Yeah, 11 a.m.
Fuck.
Super duper one. It's a super duper one.
How are you feeling?
I think you'll go like this. Fuck!
How are you feeling about it?
Oh, absolutely calm as custard. No, I think you'll be fuck, and then you'll really enjoy it, and you'll laugh a lot. I think.
God, it's so weird. I've got I was thinking then, I was going to myself, put that out of your mind until tomorrow.
Oh, I feel really weird.
Oh dear. Does feel like a driving test or something.
Yeah.
Where you go, it's not the end of the world, but there's something. Something's in the way of my life before I can get on with just enjoying it again.
What am I nervous about? I don't know. It's just it's the unknown. It's just
It's the unknown. Yes, the unknown.
It's it could be it could be a potato on a desk. You know, I'd have to react to it. It's just reacting to something you didn't know was around the corner.
Yeah. It's a test. It's like going into an exam or something. It's like I don't know what to expect. Well, it's not, because exams are horrible and this is fun. You're right. What the hell was that? You just went. You just went like this. Why did you do that? Why did you sort of like you sucked on a lemon or something? That was really disconcerting.
I don't know what I'm doing.
It's like that was really weird.
All right. Let's see what you're like.
Well, I don't think I do. I don't do that under pressure.
Oh, really? No, you do that. Hi. Fucking lean in too much.
Yeah, I will do that. Yeah. I will make my forehead feel the screen.
Cuddle me, please. Hug me and tell me you like me, please.
Yeah, that's fair.
I was just thinking. I was imagining. Another podcast did this, and I was a surprise guest on someone else's, and how I would feel doing that. So I was on Nick Helms and I don't know Mark Simmons' podcast called Natter
Flakes.
No, yeah, and and suddenly Mark Simmons goes, "Oh fucking hell, it's David." Hey,
I don't know if I'd agree to do it.
No,
because I'm like they've got a fuck. I'd just be like, well, no, I don't want to just appear.
No, exactly. In case they don't like you.
Yeah, or they just go, "Oh, hello, mate." Be over in 5 minutes.
What will?
Well, the tension.
Oh, the build-up. We've got a few coming up, haven't we? Have we got a few surprise ones? Tomorrow's a surprise. Maybe that's it, actually. There's certainly a lot lined up.
Yeah, it's not worth it, is it, for the stress of... I'm really strict. I'm really tense because this is obviously someone that's a big deal to me. Tomorrow. It's really, it feels like you're going in for it to have a minor operation. Like,
yeah,
you look like you've got the face of someone who's going, I know.
Test.
Yeah. You're having a hernia op.
Yeah.
Because I was very stressed about my hernia.
I think you said before you feel responsible, you want them to have a nice time.
Yeah,
you've got to be on it immediately.
I've just realised I don't like things that are for me as well. Like, I find that more stressful. Like, if a party is for me, like I've told you when Petra said, let's have a party at our house, like, and I just said to her, I find that really stressful, and she's like, we're going to have it anyway. And I was just like, oh God. And I've never been to someone's party and thought, this is their fault if I'm having a good time or a bad time. I'm just going to go and chat to a couple of my friends or whatever. I haven't gone, God, I haven't enjoyed myself and it's their fault.
Why don't we do party? Why don't we get 6 or 7 surprise guests, like a Christmas one,
for
one
that's a good
person?
idea.
It's a Christmas party.
Oh,
and there's 6 fucking faces you've got to deal with. Fuck me. There's Nick Hell. There's Lauren Laverne.
That's good. Yeah. I imagine that,
Nigel Mansell.
Imagine there's an absolute fucking wild card like Nigel Mansell in it. Like,
fucking it's Nigel Mansell bottom right.
I love it if it was like 5 comedians we know quite well. Nigel Mansell.
Everyone will just be talking to Nigel. Oh, the surprise party for someone else. That's great. Takes a lot of doing, but
Yeah, 6 people. It's a good Christmas party idea, yeah. Fuck, can it be for you, not me? God.
sometimes as well their name comes up. It's like their boyfriend or girlfriend.
Yeah, or their kids set up Zoom
Yeah,
for them.
Trevor
so it says,
Taylor. Who's Trevor Taylor? Fucking hell, it's Jade Adams.
what is Trevor Taylor setting up? Anyway. If he's any good at IT, he'd put her name in it.
Well, as soon as I see him, do you think I'll go, oh, okay,
150%. I
I've got to know them well then. Otherwise I won't feel like that.
Well,
I've got to. It's probably Rupert or something. Is it Rupert? Oh, Rupert.
how would you feel if Rupert appeared?
Oh, I'd love it.
Oh, well, it's not him.
He texted me on Saturday and said, I'm listening to Joe lead you round the 40 Towers set. Fucking hell.
What did my dad say? Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I hate that they're listening to it.
I know.
Sorry, no, I know. I just don't want them to.
There's nothing
think of me in
nothing
that
about
way.
you, Dad. It's just David and
No,
I.
it's me. It's what they think of me now.
Well, my dad was going, and David was laughing and saying, "Oh my God, look at that! Look at the view there!" And I was remembering doing it and just going, "Oh right, now Dad's listening to that." Okay, now.
And also the rest of it, where we're talking about doing live and going, oh, fucking not doing fucking live.
Sorry, Dad. I think he listens to like 1 in 15, though, because he won't say anything. And then why?
That's all right, one every 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
good.
fine, it's normal.
Yeah, that's normal. But like, because it's never like a bit where I've gone, oh, that's worth talking about. It'll be like, and you were showing, yeah, you were showing David the view. All right. It's not like that amazing moment. Oh, Joe Lycett, but isn't like sort of talked about the Joe Lycett act, which was really good or something. You know, it's just.
Sorry, I'm now thinking you. This has been like. You're going, oh, you're going to love this. Da, da, da. This could. I'm now thinking you tricked me again, and this is fucking enormous. Because you said before it was Katie Price, and then it wasn't. So I'm now thinking.
All right, I'll give you a clue. I text you something as a massive curveball, but it was a straight ball. No,
Yeah.
I made all that up. No, I made that.
From now on, I'm not telling you. Tim Key. It's Tim Key.
Is that your guess?
It's got to be Tim Key. Well, never.
Hello! That wall doesn't work. does
Flipping
it?
hell.
It's Tim Vine!
How are you? Hello, how are you?
Hi,
What a
Tim.
pleasure. I thought
Wow.
I know that your listeners can't see the visual here, but I thought that my camera shot was going to be close enough in that this fake wall behind me would look like a wall. There's a wall behind it as well, isn't there? So that doesn't work.
It just looks like you have a picture of a wall on your wall.
Yeah, it's better than the wall.
Does Tim know what's happening now?
Not entirely, no.
You know, I didn't know you were coming on, Tim.
I heard that, David. Yes. Do you know the other thing that, and again, this isn't great for just people listening audibly, whatever the word is. But I'm wearing an ABBA tank top. Look.
Oh, beautiful.
Wow.
Do you know we have a guy come onto our podcast? He's the bass player for the ABBA show.
Oh well, that's when I bought it. Oh right.
Oh, right. okay.
But did you know
Brilliant.
that our friend was
Did you know that?
I didn't know that. You've sort of told my
right.
story there, but yes,
Sorry, Tim.
it cost about 60 quid this tank top as well. That's why I'm wearing it. I'm trying to get the most out of Honestly, I've got a one t-shirt and a tank top, 106 quid. For the Stepford Wives live. No, it's very good, actually. It's very good. It's very good.
Well, do you remember a guy in a white suit playing a bass guitar?
I was transfixed by the robots, to be honest, but the real people, I can see them at any, dime a dozen real people, aren't they?
Yeah.
They were very
Tim,
good.
I just keep thinking, about 5 years ago, I went through every one of your stand-up shows and basically nicked what you were doing.
Did you? How did that go?
Nicked
And
what
now
I
here
was
you
going,
are.
what's he doing there? Why is he doing that? Why is that funny? What's he doing there?
Really enjoying all the all the jokes.
Honestly, you're the funniest. Oh,
Yeah, what's the noun there?
what a pleasure.
I told you to relax when you.
I was just thinking about all your shows that I dissected. And
Really?
studied.
Well, you studied them?
Yeah, I
Can
used
you
to
give me
start.
one example of something you looked at and thought, why is that funny? Well, actually, that's probably the wrong question. But what was it? I'm not sure I've got the answer.
Throw out so much shit. It's difficult to pinpoint. It was just how many you were throwing out, and
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, the faster the conveyor belt, the better.
It's so funny.
Oh, well, thank you.
It's the funniest. Oh, bloody hell! You realise?
Get the walls gone. That's it.
Oh, Jesus!
Are you touring at the moment, Tim?
No, I'm not. No. This is just me at home. No, I'm touring next year, I think, is the plan.
Are you?
Yeah, because I just did Edinburgh. I just did a stint there.
Oh, because was your last one Timony? Was that the
No,
last
that was the one before last. I can.
Oh, was it?
I
You
can
came
see
out the
actually.
chimney, didn't you?
That's right. Yeah. I've got a poster of the new one here. Funny enough, let me just.
Oh, really? Is this an
check what the
exclusive?
title is. It's called Breep.
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 Breep. Yeah. Just a noise. I was running out of words. If I just make a noise.
Yeah.
I remember in Timony you did like 3 jokes about chimneys and then said that's as many as you could think of to justify the title.
But that's what I did when I did Punslinger as well. I came out dressed as a cowboy, did 7 cowboy jokes, and they're all magnificent. I think I said that one. That was one of them. I think, something about I haven't seen a cowboy film for a while. It's all quiet on the Western Front. I said, just a few like that. And then that was it. And I moved on. For the rest of the show, I was dressed as a cowboy. Unexplained. So at least with the noise, I haven't got to, there's no theme to Breep.
Is that what you've done? So you go, I'm painting myself into a corner to begin with?
Yeah, someone's written it.
It's got to make loads of...
Yeah, I mean, that's the advantage of Breep, is it's just... Although I must admit, after... when they sort of pressure you when you're getting ready for something, you get people go, we need a title now, that sort of thing's going on,
Yeah.
So once Breep was okayed, I did sort of think to myself, I just called it Breep.
Yeah. What did they say when you said that down the phone?
Well, I didn't say that till later. I just said, when they said, they had the same reaction as you. Breep.
Well, my brain was going, what's the joke? Because I saw the bit of the picture, you had horns, like moose horns
antlers.
or something. Antlers sticking out, so I was like, okay.
Well, I was going to call it Antlerbeard, was another possibility, but that made too much sense. But the show before Breep was called Sunset Milk Idiot, and that was just, and I called it that.
Did you have loads of pints of milk around your face?
That's right. I had milk round my head. I looked like an idiot, and there was a sunset behind me. So so I worked backwards from the image. But again, I wasn't really, I was thinking about calling this new one Sunrise Water Moron. But I didn't stick with that. Just 'cause it's like a follow-on, like I was doing some sort of follow-on from Sunset Milk Idiot.
Yeah.
I had a picture and everything. I was out there with water bottles around my head, and I went out. I actually went out at sunrise.
Did you?
And then the picture taken.
Well, then
Sunrise
lost
water
confidence.
I just thought perhaps it's a bit too.
Who took the picture? Who was taking the picture?
Me, actually. It was on a timer on my iPad. That's how I do most of my work.
Oh, flipping out.
I like the array of stuff behind you, Joe. Is this your house then? This
This is my office.
Your office,
I'm going to move the camera a bit generally because it makes it look like I'm more sort of. I've got more going on than I have.
Yeah,
Tim, look at this, Tim.
yeah. What? I'm trying to. Oh, I see. It's like a shelf. Is it a shelf? Oh no, it's a house. Sorry. I thought that was a shelf with a small bike,
That's a
but that's a
flying cuckoo
full-size
clock.
bike. Is it what?
Oh yeah,
It's a flying cuckoo clock.
Where?
the bike, and
Oh, I see. Yeah. I see what you mean. It looked, yeah.
Yeah. God, I wasn't expecting that. Taking it really
Sorry, no, I
seriously.
was doing the same thing. I was trying
Questioning
I was doing
whether
what
you
did when
enjoy
watch
it or not.
my DVDs. I was studying it and saying, "Now, why is that fun?" That is a real. That's not a shelf, though, is it? That's not some sort of weird perspective. That's a real bike in the background, isn't it?
That's a real bike.
Yeah, it's just further away. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
David's got a massive office basically.
Yeah, in a tiny house.
80%.
David, you're also not. I take it you don't do a lot of directing because you've heavily backlit yourself.
I know, it's shit. Yeah, I know.
Man,
Well,
on the surface of Venus.
Have you moved, David? Because everyone kept questioning your.
Yeah, everyone kept questioning what was on the wall, so I've moved angle.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
What's on the wall? Is there something controversial on the wall?
Oh, it's fine.
It's basically it's a cork board with loads of notes on it that looked really intimidating. Basically.
Oh, I see. Yeah. Oh, right. It looks like a plan for something.
Yeah.
I
A
see.
master
Right.
plan.
Yeah. That could be split into 3 acts. Was that 3 rows I saw there? Is it a film
Yeah.
idea?
Oh,
Yeah,
have you got plans to make any more films, Tim? Do you remember I came to your screening in Brighton a few years ago?
Oh, I forgot you came to that. Yeah, of course you did. We had a drink before or after.
Yeah,
Probably
it's
before. It's,
What was the film called again? Oh, sorry, I can't remember.
Behemoth.
That's right, yeah.
Behemoth,
Fantastic.
yeah. I've got a poster of that somewhere. Look, wait, can you wait for just like...
Of course.
Just literally
Yeah,
over
we've
there.
got like
Wait
an
1
hour.
second. It's a great poster, this one. But if you like this poster, it's... is that it? Oh, hang on.
Do you have all your posters in arm's reach at any time?
Actually,
That wall's
no,
there.
sorry, that's...
I might take a
No,
screen
it's not.
grab of that while he's not there.
No, it's not there.
Should have done a longer build-up.
This is
15
why I don't
minutes.
get my own live television show. Wait there, I've got something to show you, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, no, I have.
Do you remember you?
But I did have another idea for a film there, actually.
Oh, go on.
Because the one you saw was about a giant moth that attacks a light bulb shop. Like I'm the manager of a light bulb shop, I get blamed for it. Although it was more involved than that, wasn't it? It became slightly sort of it seems to be slightly more.
It weaved in other stories, I believe.
Yeah, otherwise known as
Have
it's
you
a bit
got
of a muddle.
Tim's disco album?
I have got
disco
Tim's
album?
disco album.
Yeah, I think I sent
Yeah.
that to you, Joe, didn't I? Yeah.
I loved it. It's really. I'll see if I can find
Tim,
it.
I was stood behind you in a queue at Bruce Forsyth's night at the Royal Albert Hall. Do you remember that?
Oh right, I was with Harry Hill actually.
Harry Hill, yeah. Yeah.
That was great. Well, do you know what? I often quote his opening line there, which I loved his opening line, where he came on, and it's the Royal Albert Hall. Everyone's going mad because Bruce Forsyth, and there's an orchestra behind him, and he's like doing all that, and then when the sort of applause and the acclamation finally settles down, he looks to the conductor and he says, "They can't all be wrong."
That's amazing.
He did a little tap dance, sat on a chair, didn't he?
Oh, did
I
he?
think I
Yeah.
remember. Yeah.
I'm trying to think what sort of year that was. He was still in pretty good shape then in those days. When he was.
I reckon that was 8, 9 years ago. So my wife worked for Ian. Do you know Ian?
Oh yeah,
His manager.
Ian Curtis.
Yeah, Ian Curtis. Ian
In the
Curtis.
Joy Division, he
My
used to
wife
manage
worked for
Bruce
Ian
Forsyth.
Curtis.
No, Ian Wilson, you mean? Yeah.
Yeah, Ian Wilson. Yeah.
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 And what
So,
your
Tip.
Go
Go on.
on. No, go on, David. It's your special guest.
I know. Honestly, Tim.
Is this what you do? You choose a guest for each other? Do you?
Yeah. I've got one tomorrow, and the thing is, beforehand, when you're the guest person having the guest, you get really, really nervous.
So nervous.
It's so weird. We sort of
What, because you're worried it might be someone that the other person thinks you know or like
No.
we don't
No,
really.
well,
It's
just like
it's just a surprise. You don't know what you're about to. I thought that was Tim Key. I thought, oh, this is going to be Tim Key.
Sorry about that.
so he's picked himself up off the floor and he's
I thought we were going to. About a month ago, Joe did one for me, and he tricked me. I was convinced it was Katie Price,
Right.
and it was James O'Brien.
It was you.
Yeah, James O'Brien.
Oh, James O'Brien. Yeah. Well, that's
yeah.
Blimey, well, I can see why you get those two confused.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
David did some snooping and basically got the wrong end of the stick and convinced himself it was actually Katie Price.
Yeah.
So we just sort of went along with it.
To go along with that,
It
yeah.
wasn't. So, but yeah, it's just a really nervous sort of thing because you're going, oh God, it's just a sense of responsibility, isn't it? To sort of-
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you do this every day of the week, do you?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Is it too much?
But
Tim?
not weekends? No.
No.
Monday to Friday.
Yeah, Monday to Friday.
And you have a guest.
Yeah.
You've got to choose 4 guests every.
Oh,
We
no.
have a special guest once a week.
I see. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Oh,
rest of the
God.
time it's just guffing on, basically. What are you up to at the moment then, Tim? What are you doing?
Well, what am I doing? I was thinking. I've been doing. Part of the reason I had this wall here was because I had been recreating some scenes from Columbo earlier on in the year. I do this thing called Recreating Columbo, where I sort of do
Sure.
recreate scenes from
Yeah, that
Columbo.
doesn't need that doesn't need explaining. That's totally normal. You can move on now, Tim. Yeah, we've got the concept.
But I play all the parts. That's the most important thing. Actually, not always. Sometimes I bring a friend in, but mainly I play the parts. And
So
so
you
I
film it as well on your iPad?
on my iPad. All the shots are very similar to this. Anyway, because I've done 20 episodes of Columbo. Now, each excerpt is only like a minute and a half long, right? So they're not,
right.
I don't do the whole episode.
Yeah.
But there are. This is a long way round of saying that I'm tempted to. But I've done 20, and there are 65 Columbo episodes in total.
Oh,
Wow.
Knowing the sort of person I am, if I get anywhere near the halfway point, I'm just worried that's it. I'm going to be in for the whole lot.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I've just sat back off it, and I'm not doing any at the moment. But I could feel
It's
it
obviously on your
slightly
mind.
fermenting in the back of my head. This is a way to spend 6 months.
Yeah.
But other than that, I mean, just bits and bobs, really. That's what I'm just here to plug
now.
bits and bobs, but I can't think of anything specific. When does this go out, by the way?
well,
Don't know,
Or is it supposed to be live? Where
No, it's
how
not
are we?
live. I don't know, in a week or two.
yeah, we've got like
Yeah.
a schedule now, haven't we?
Oh, yeah.
So we
No, so I was going to say I'm doing a gig tonight but that would have gone by.
Oh, yeah. You can still
Yeah.
plug it.
Well, it's a homeless charity called St Mungo's or something, and it's at Union Chapel.
Oh, it's a good venue. That. Who else is on?
I don't know. Now you're asking. Oh, I don't know. I have seen the list of us all, but I don't want to get that wrong.
Tim.
Yeah. It's a bit acoustically hard to play as a comic, Union Chapel, isn't it? I've always shied away from doing a long time.
I think it's not. I think as long as it's sold well, it's fine. I think it's the tricky one is in the summer.
I say to my promoter on the tour, just give me a bit of that. I say I don't want to play anywhere that ends in the word hall because
Right.
there's-
Yeah.
it's immediately acoustic. You think of anywhere that ends hall, it's not great might be good for a lone violinist and a choir, but
Yeah.
which reminds me of that brilliant Bob Hope joke where he's in a film, and I'll take your question in a moment, David.
No, hang on. I've been trying to get this
Bob
question
Hope's
out.
in. No, just enjoy the guest. No, it's a Bob Hope film, and he's in a hotel room with this beautiful woman. And he's just got her back to this room. I'm not sure what film this is. It's obviously all very innocent. But he rings up room service and he says, "I'll have a bottle of champagne and a blindfolded violinist." Anyway, right, David, I'm taking questions from the floor.
No, I can't be bothered now. No. I want to know what your gigs are like when you're dying.
Wow.
Because you're so full of fun.
I'll let you know when I get that illness. I find that
I can't ever imagine a room not laughing at what you do. So what's it like when they don't go with it?
Do you know, I don't know whether this happens to a lot of comics, but I get quite belligerent when I start to die, and I dig in and think, right, I'm going to do twice the length.
Yeah.
But I remember doing one for, I always give this example actually of huge deaths, was Harlequins Rugby Club, and it was like a corporate thing, and they're always the hardest sort of thing, to be honest, because no one's come for comedy, you know, so you're suddenly thrown on.
Yeah, it could be.
And
couldn't it?
I bounded on. Black Beauty, Easy Dark Horse, Velcro, what a rip-off. I've got a sponge front door. Hey, don't knock it. And I thought there's nothing coming back in. So I carried on, and they all had these. They all had little goodie bags, and because it was a rugby club, they had these little sort of sponge rugby balls, and these started coming out the lights at me. and these little sort of, you know, sponge things were sort of flying towards me. And I then started sort of, I began, part of the thing actually I thought to myself, which is another thing which I'm sure comics think universally at those moments, I thought, well, unless if I do the time, they're still going to pay me. You know? So I thought I will stay on for 20 minutes, which is, you know, it's a long time really when it's not worked 2 minutes in.
Yeah.
I think I did 17 minutes, and I was saying things like I was saying it must be the head injuries. This stuff's hilarious, stuff like that, you know, because they're all rugby players. You know? And then I said, so I don't care if you throw a table at me, I'm going nowhere. Anyway, it was. I do remember walking off stage, getting straight on the phone to my agent, saying, "Please don't make me do any more of those. That's a disaster." You know?
I just don't get why a room wouldn't find it funny.
Well, I think that Ken Dodd said.
Yeah.
In fact, I know he said. He said the audience that hasn't paid is the hardest to please. That's certainly true.
Yeah.
That's another way of saying if they weren't expecting comedy, you know, if people are expecting comedy, they hand over some money at the door because they've come to a comedy show. That's something. If you've come to your end of season rugby club do, and everyone's getting drunk and enjoying being with their mates, and suddenly some posh bloke jumps up and starts saying, you know, one-arm butlers, they can take it, but they can't dish it out. All that stuff, you know. Then it's understandable that might be annoying.
Yeah.
Can I ask, you know, pen behind the ear?
Do I know it?
I think you've answered my question. There's always a rumour going round that you could just do it first time, every time.
Yeah.
No,
But is
I
that
can't do it first. That's not true. I mean, I did a gig the other day. In fact, it was in Barcelona. I had to go to Barcelona to do 15 minutes. That's the sort of job we're all after, listeners. And when it came to pen behind the ear, which is a good way of filling a bit of time, I normally think round about... the music lasts about 45 seconds.
Yeah.
And I normally think that round about the third time round the music, it sort of lands, possibly the second time around the music, you know. Sometimes it can get into your head a bit, and I hadn't done it for a while. Also, I know this sounds ridiculous, I don't have any hair really, but I did have slightly more hair. If I have a tiny bit more volume of hair around the ears, it makes the landing area slightly harder to hit. And I think I remember kicking myself that I hadn't had a haircut before the gig. Anyway, I went around the music 5 times. Now, the one thing that takes the pressure off me, because people say to me afterwards, do you ever sort of not do it, whatever? And I just literally never don't do it.
Right.
So that takes the pressure off, because in a way you say, well, I'm just going to carry on until it lands. So I did it once in Australia. That's the longest time around the music. it wasn't a great gig already, and so that also put a bit of pressure on me. And I went round the music 8 times.
How long is 8 times?
Well,
I mean, that's
6 or 7 minutes.
Yeah,
probably,
I remember seeing it for about 5 minutes.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
We should explain what you do as well.
Yeah.
You do a thing, because I don't want to run the punchline, but the punchline really makes me laugh. But you basically play a song called "Pen Behind the Ear," and you try and chuck a pen behind your ear.
Yeah, and I have a box of pens. I know I just did it then, but that is quite rare. But I'm chucking them like this, and
try to catch her on the ear.
And one goes on the ear. I never like it. You know, the thing is, there's an element of you don't want to get it straight away anyway. So it's true that I don't try desperately hard early doors. But then when I do start trying, the worry is that I've already then got my arm into the rhythm of missing.
Yeah.
So, you know. But it's silly, really.
I love that this is a worry of yours.
Well, it's not really a worry. It just crosses my mind when I'm doing it. It's not something that I wake up.
I think it's a legitimate worry.
In the middle of the night.
They could be streaming out the auditorium.
Yeah, well, I did hockey stick behind the ear. Did you ever see that? That was
I saw that.
And that was, I only did that once. That was, I had a crash helmet with a giant ear stuck to the crash helmet, and I would throw it, and of course you want to loop it once and land. And what's great about that is I did that, the one time I did it was for a DVD recording, and I did do it eventually, and it didn't take that long actually, so because it was a bigger time, I suppose. But I'd been practicing in my garden with it, and my neighbour looked over the garden fence, and what are you doing? You know, I was throwing a hockey stick at my head.
How did you explain your way out of that?
Well, I mean, the amount of stuff I've done in that garden, that's, you know.
That garden.
Well, do you know what? It occurred to me the other day. Yeah, very well. But I'll tell you what's interesting. And I consider myself to be quite quiet, and I don't really make a lot of noise. But I've noticed that, you know, in the run of houses from my house up, the main turnover of neighbours has been my next door neighbour. Pretty much everyone else, I've been here 20 years, pretty much everyone else has stayed. I've had 5 different sets of neighbours.
Oh, God.
Yeah, what's he doing? Sometimes I just, when I'm doing occasionally I do a Columbo scene, or I have done. Like I said, I'm not going to do that now. But and if you're in the back garden and you think at some point you just have to go, I'm going to have to go for this now. You know, hey Sarah, come on! And you're just like shouting this out on your own in the garden. You know. But you know that's comedy. Isn't it? You've got to leave your dignity at the door.
Did you do a little news channel, Tim, on your? Did you ever
I did TV show? Tim Vine Televisual. Yes. Yeah. That's on my. In fact, that's still my YouTube channel. TV. Tim Vine Televisual.
Have you seen that, Joe?
No, I haven't.
Oh, it's brilliant.
Well, I did. What I did for that was I did loads and loads of sketches a while ago. Filmed loads of them, and I'd never done anything with them. And I thought I must, do something about this. And so then I thought timing-wise, it was perfect in terms of the lockdown, because I obviously didn't know that we were about to all be locked down. But I decided I'd put one out a week for 54 weeks, and they were like that. Each one had about 6-7 little sketches in, and it just went straight into across the pandemic. So actually, people quite enjoyed it. It's a funny thing with YouTube, though, isn't it? Because I don't know whether you guys find this. I don't know how many people listen to this. Probably millions. So. Is it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, of course. but with Twitter,
this is a game changer.
I never know whether to trust when it says how many people have seen it. Because with Twitter, you put a video or some silly video or something, and it seems to lots of people see it. Your YouTube channel, because it's 2 clicks away, that second click's a killer, isn't it?
Yeah, they won't
and
do
no
it,
one gets there.
No.
So my YouTube channel is very niche.
Well, they can't be bothered to click the second time.
Yeah.
I think it's true, though, isn't it, David? Tell him.
If you put a YouTube link on Twitter, people go, what was that?
I said, tell him, David. Tell him.
I'm going to. I'm just about to. When you put a link on Twitter, Joe, I don't think they bother clicking it. Is that all right, Tim?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and also, I think it's to do with the fact that with Twitter, when it comes by, it's already there and people start watching it.
Yes.
If you've got to click on it and you just sort of wait for this thing
feel a bit like that.
Yeah.
Because
But I mean, you guys, this podcast thing, which is obviously very popular. Where is it put on like loads of different platforms or something?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. You put it.
So
on
it's
one
mainly
and it goes
commuters who enjoy it.
Yeah.
Oh, very good.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That might work. There may be a.
You might
Write
be something in that. You want to-
My button. I thought of a joke yesterday. Tell me whether you think this will work. Right.
Oh yeah. go on.
This is stressful.
This
Shit.
is straight from. I don't need. You don't need to laugh. I'm not asking that. But just tell me whether you think it's got something going for it. So I said to my butler. That's how it starts, right? I don't say that's how it starts. So I said to my butler. I said. I shouted out to my butler. I said, Smith. Doesn't matter what his name is. I said, Smith. How can I make my ladder 1 foot taller? And he walked in the room. He said, "New rung, my lord." There might be something there.
Yeah, there is.
There really
New rung,
is.
my lord, or new rung, my lord. Maybe. New rung, my lord.
Yeah, there is. Oh,
The build-up is so much fun, though.
yeah.
Yeah, if it wasn't for build-up, it really would be.
How many of your jokes you got to do, Tim, for one hits? Do you think? How many ideas?
To write, well, do you know what? I think if I write 10, I would use about 10 of them. No. If I wrote 10, I genuinely think I'm happy if I've got 2 or 3 that I
Yeah,
keep.
that's a good hit, right?
Have you got one that's never worked that you want to?
One, I've got cards for them. I mean, look, I use cards like this, right? When I'm getting ready for it.
that?
When I'm getting ready for, this is an old show actually. I don't know what half of that is.
Oh, God.
I
Right,
don't know what any of that is actually anymore.
it's a big board with loads of mad scribbling on it, basically.
Oh, flipping hell.
Oh, look, there's an accelerator pedal, and this dates it. Look, it's something to do with an accelerator pedal in the EU referendum. He was a lever.
Oh, right.
So that shows you that dates it slightly, doesn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's,
I love how puzzled you are by your own.
yeah. This one stayed in. I said to this bloke, I said, I'm going to buy my girlfriend. No, I just bought my girlfriend a new guitar. He said, a Fender. I said, no, she likes it. But yeah, no, well, you know, it's like you cross most stuff out. You know this, Joe, don't you? You doing any stand-up, Joe?
I am now, yeah. I've started doing it again.
Where are you doing that?
I'm not doing it. I've just finished doing a job, so I'm back doing it. But I'm mainly doing sort of London and Brighton little gigs to try stuff, basically.
Great.
But yeah, it's hard, isn't it? It's really
It's
hard.
fun though, isn't it?
But I like the writing of it. But it's there's moments you go, how do you do this? How do you come up?
Because you're always reliant on whatever it is you've written is the problem, really, in a way, isn't it?
Well, that is
true,
my
isn't it,
problem.
Well, it's my problem as well. That bit doesn't get any easier. That's,
No, I really like the writing bit, but there's moments like you just go, fucking, how do you create an hour? Like,
well,
you're just sort of going, well, especially you, because you'll write a bit and it'll be like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
yeah, well, that's why the little songs and things help, you know.
Yeah.
I remember you saying your structure isn't your structure 7 jokes in a song?
Is it 7 jokes in a song?
Is that
Is that what I said? Well,
Yeah, you said. I said because I remember asking you a serious question about structuring your show, and you went, "I do 11 jokes song, 11 jokes song, 11 jokes song. Good night."
I've never ever. That must have been a joke because I've never ever counted 11 jokes and thought that was put a song in. But like 11, like song now. Isn't it? I mean, the great thing is, it is. If you're not doing any narrative, you're not a narrative person either, are you, Joe?
No.
Do you do stand up, David? I'm sort of talk to you like you do stand up, man.
I used to. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
What was your style?
Well, it's sort of. it was a bad comedian who'd do bad jokes, but I obviously wanted them to be good on some level. And
have you been reading my bio?
Yeah. I haven't done it for the last gig was just for lockdown. I haven't done it since. Yeah.
But I was going to say the advantage of not having a narrative is that because some people the structure really is you talk like this and and you've got there's a story in there somewhere. But of course, without that, all you're really listening for is can you keep the laughs going? That's it.
Yeah. Oh, that's all I want, really. I think.
That's all we all want, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, that's...
At the end of the day.
I've always been obsessed with, if you put in Tim Vine on YouTube, there's like, for your first TV appearance, isn't it on some like morning...
With my hair like that.
Yeah.
Didn't you do a game show?
Oh, that's the game show. We looked at the game show.
Game show? Listen, I've done about 7.
Have you? What, pilots?
Well, no, actually, they were mainly pilots.
I remember the one that made no sense.
On my iPad.
Do you remember the one that's made no sense? So the answers were...
Fluke.
Was it called Fluke?
That was my idea, that one, yeah. So all the questions were 50-50, so there's no way of knowing what any of the answers were. So I'd say to the contestant, I've got something sellotaped to my arm. Is it a golf tee or a feather? And it was under my shirt. And they go, and sometimes it'd be like for, in order to win a motorbike or something really quite important. And I'd see them shaking in front of me. That was great fun. It was a shame, but then that was the one we ended up doing a version of in a pilot for in America, actually, funnily enough. And it was called, but there they decided to involve, because it was 50-50, there was no way of knowing any of the answers. They decided to involve a monkey, and that was called Beat the Chimp. And so one of the contestants was a chimpanzee, and he would sort of hold up card. The answer was one answer on one side, one answer on the other side, and he'd hold up, that, So the idea was it was possible for the chimp to win. Which would have been great. I mean, unfortunately, the Americans didn't. They sort of wanted. I think you should be in every round all the way. And I said, no, it's got to be possible to knock out the chimp. I said, you've got to.
That's your stand on all subjects, isn't it?
Because what you want is a situation where, at the end of the show, you've got Tonka. His name was the chimp. You got Tonka sits in the car.
Tonka's won a sports car.
And they had this thing as well on the front of every script. I wish I still had the script, but the front of every script it said, "Please do not make eye contact with Tonka." Because it made him aggressive. He'd be like, he's going to go. Apparently, that's what chimps do. Chimps are very. If you start staring at a chimp, he's going to be like, "What?" And then they go for you. Yeah.
That might have been the flaw in the game, if I'm honest, Tim.
Well, no, it was fine because, actually, in fact, he was superimposed on the end of the other contestants. He was in a room on his own with his trainer. So, poor Tonka, he was sitting there with his cards with answers on. And every time I asked a question, now maybe this is seen as slightly unfair on the monkey. He was told by his, pick something up, pick it up, need to pick it up like that, and put it down. And if he got it right, he'd go like that. And his ears would wobble. It was great.
Fucking hell. When was this?
That was 1998, I think, or 99 or something.
Happy
Good
I think you can see that. That's on YouTube somewhere, actually.
fucking... Well,
Clips of him going like that.
God, I wish that had made it. It was still running somehow.
Yeah, no.
Serious
Holding
94.
its own.
They were
Knocking pointless.
another animal would be good, wouldn't it? A squirrel. But nowadays, and rightly so, you can't really start taking monkeys into a game show every
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Imagine if you do.
Well said, Tim. Says the only man who's done it.
You're going to pop it yourself.
That's why I'm not looking down the lens. would turn up in my
Yeah,
garden.
you're talking to yourself, son.
Oh God!
But the thing is about that is that it's one thing doing a pilot with him, but once it gets to doing 10 episodes and it gets really popular, you've got to bring him in again. It's
Embarrassing.
he's days on end on his own with his trainer in a room lifting up charts, you know.
A massive hit, and it's got to record like 10 a day.
To be honest, I have a lot in common with that. The worry that presumably one would have for Tonka. I'm not a huge fan of suddenly being told, you know, something's such a hit, you've got to go and write another 15 of them, and do you know what I mean? There's two sides to that coin, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Tonka didn't really have a choice, to be fair. Tonka was...
What? Tonka didn't have a choice?
No, you have a choice, Tim. Poor old Tonka. Is Tonka still with us? Do we know?
I don't know. That's a good question. I've never actually looked up Tonka the monkey on
I don't think you've given him a second thought, that monkey.
I only ever talk about
how
in relation to...
You can remember how he cheered, to be fair.
I can. The other memory I had, aside from what was funny about don't make eye contact with him, was he was always being held by his trainer, and he'd be looking over the back of his trainer like that. So when his trainer would walk past you in the corridor, you'd sort of, as you go by, you'd suddenly be like that because you'd see Tonka like this, looking at him. Everyone was absolutely petrified of making eye contact with this thing. And they dressed him up like an idiot as well. But the other thing that my other big memory was walking past a dressing room and seeing him sat on a sofa. And I carried on walking because I thought I don't want to stop in the doorway and go.
Right, Tonks.
Right, Tonks, mate.
You never think of chimpanzees as using sofas, do you?
No.
I hadn't, no. Oh, fucking hell.
Anyway.
Oh, dear. I got... your first TV... I was going to ask about your first TV performance. Wasn't that on, like a morning
Pebble
show?
Mill.
Pebble Mill, that's it.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
I've still got the lampshade, because I started at the beginning. It's Judy Spires, it was, just introduced. There used to be a 3-minute spot that comics would do at that time.
I didn't know it was a regular thing, was it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and on the circuit, it was everyone kind of knew that this thing existed, you know.
Right.
And everyone would talk about, you know, when they were on it. Well, you know, it's quite hard to find the 3-minute, because everyone's, you know, stuff wasn't sort of generally clean. My stuff was all clean, so I used to think to myself, God, I'd love to do that. And actually, I remember the bloke as well, and because it was the first time I had ever been on telly before. It was very exciting for me. There's a guy called Marino Kaczmarek, and he'd come along. I was supporting Boothby Grafo, and in Birmingham. He'd come along to see Boothby about doing it, and Boothby didn't want to do it, but Boothby said to him, this is before the show, "You want to watch Tim? You should put him on it. You have a look at this, watch this sort of thing." So and he booked me from that situation. And but Boothby never did because it wasn't really his thing. He didn't want to do it. But I've still got the lampshade. I came on. I just had a lampshade on my head. I go, sorry, I'm a shade late. That's how I started. You know. I used to do a better one than that, but I'd say now the weather, and I go and I stick it on my head and go. When will I see you again? I go, it's 3 degrees of a shade. You see that? Yeah.
How big was the
Modern
audience
reference.
in that studio? How big was the audience in that
Pebble
studio?
Mill.
50?
No, I think possibly a tiny bit more than that, maybe 60.
Well, you're just saying it sounded like 50, Dave.
What I loved about them as well, it was the classic thing of that very much used to happen. It happens less now. In fact, they don't tend to have afternoon shows with audiences in that way. But it was very much the blue rinse mob, as they used to call them, because those were the people who were around during the day who would go to a TV show in the early 90s.
Where was Pebble Mill, Tim? Where was
That was in Birmingham. Yeah.
Was it?
And it now doesn't exist anymore. That studio.
We did an episode on Pebble Mill
Yeah,
did you?
about 18 months ago.
So
Surprised it hasn't gone viral.
Well, you mean you talked about it? You mean?
We just talked about the building being destroyed, and
Oh, I see. Yeah.
happy memory.
Yeah,
Paul do you remember Paul Coyer? Remember Paul Coyer?
No, I don't actually. No. Paul
Who's
Coyer.
Paul Coyer? Oh, is he?
He was just a presenter on Pebble Mill.
Oh, yes, I do remember him. Yes, I do remember him.
Scottish.
Yeah.
Oh, I do remember him now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
nice chap, yeah.
I didn't
Yeah.
know his name.
Yeah.
Did he like?
Yeah.
Tim, do you support Sutton?
I do. I try to, yeah.
Do you go and see them?
I do, not as much as I probably should if I'm calling myself a fan. But I probably went about 7 or 8 times last season, maybe.
Right.
That's not bad. Not-
And it's all home games that I tend to go to. Having said that, I was on after me at. I was on after me. The person who was after me at Edinburgh Festival was Ivo Graham, and he's a big Swindon.
He is, isn't he? Yeah.
Swindon fan, yeah.
Yeah.
And so I said, I must get along to get. So I actually, the first game I went to this season, I went away to Swindon. And I think it was the first away match I've been to, I think.
Oh, they in League Two then?
Yeah.
Sutton?
Yeah,
League
so,
Two?
yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the last few games, I've only been to 2 this season, but both of them have been like we've lost with sort of late gasp winners from the other side. I mean, that's the killer, isn't it, when that happens?
Were you there when they beat, was it Coventry?
No, I wasn't. No, but I went to the next round, which was away to Norwich, and we lost 8-0.
Really?
Something like that, yeah. Robert Fleck was playing for Norwich in those days, if you remember.
Oh, I remember. Yeah. Fucking hell.
But the first goal I ever saw scored at the Sutton ground, which I've only just realised the other day, was that the first match I saw was against Middlesbrough. Sutton Middlesbrough at home at Sutton, and it was 1-1. It was a FA Cup thing, and I'd not really thought about it for a long time. And someone sent me a video of it, and I looked at it, and the first goal scored by Middlesbrough was by Gary Pallister. So that's the first goal.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was the first goal I saw at Sutton scored by Gary Pallister. Yeah.
Wow.
A name I'd actually heard of.
I remember United buying Gary back in the day.
Yeah, and I imagine, because that was 1988, that match, I think, against Middlesbrough. So I imagine it was probably shortly after that he went to United, wasn't it?
And his centre-back partnership came from Gillingham, Steve Bruce.
Did he?
Yeah. Yeah.
Not been a great week for him, is it? He's just gone, isn't it?
Has he been sacked?
From West Brom, yeah.
Oh, I didn't catch that.
That's today, yeah.
Oh, and he listens to this.
Does he?
Yeah, Steve.
Yeah.
Does he? Sorry, Steve, to bring that back,
Gary.
Yeah, they both
Always
did.
like your style, Steve.
I think Gary got Steve onto Chatterbit. Or the other way around, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Can't remember.
Well, I
who
hope that
was
wasn't the way Steve heard the news, anyway.
Well, what a lovely chat. Thanks,
Honestly,
Tim.
it's.
It's been a pleasure.
So nice seeing you.
Honestly, Tim, it's been because I did a tour about 3 or 4 years ago. It was the only tour I ever did, and it was your show and Harry's that I used to dissect and go, "How are they doing this? What are they doing?"
Harry's on tour at the moment, and I'll give a plug to him.
Oh, I
He's
saw
touring.
someone. He'd been at his gig last night, I think.
Yeah,
definitely,
very,
if he
very
comes
good.
to-
It's hilarious, yeah. I recommend that.
is it?
Go and see Harry's show.
Oh, it's
Just
always
go on your
brilliant.
show to plug other comics. Go and see that.
Oh, you know when you did your advertisement for you not being
Oh,
the
yes,
Edinburgh
at
Festival?
Edinburgh.
Oh, yeah.
How much did that cost?
$4,000.
Did it?
But I got 2 posters for that. So apparently halfway through, or it got a bit worn, and then they just put another one up, same one. So
For people who don't know, Tim, what year was that, Tim?
I think that was 2006. There
I was
this
definitely there.
enormous poster site.
Yeah, it's the bottom
that-
of a hill, wasn't it? Like a
Yeah,
really,
so bottom of Cowgate, round
yeah,
there.
a massive
And,
billboard, wasn't it?
It's just a big billboard saying Tim Vine, huge sort of thing, about the size, about the width of a double-decker bus. Tim Vine, and in the bottom right-hand corner of the poster is not appearing at this year's Edinburgh Festival. I was quite amazed by the response it got.
Oh,
In fact,
it's
people still
unbelievable.
bring it up now.
Yeah.
It's bizarre.
Well, including us.
Yeah.
I remember thinking, oh, that's so much better than doing the run.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Certainly less writing involved.
One
Tim,
joke.
how do you feel about when you go out on a tour? Are you looking forward to it? Is it a trudge?
It's never a trudge. No, I do look forward to it. Yeah, it's 3 of us go on tour. By the way, I noticed whenever I got that, is that see that
You're still
finger
painting
there?
your nails, Tim. Yeah.
No, that
Yeah.
was that. Just again, if you're not watching, I've just shown one black fingernail to the camera, and that's because I slammed it in a rubbish chute when I was in Edinburgh, because I was on the 5th floor, and you push the rubbish bins
Oh,
through
they're
the
quite
chute,
heavy. Yeah.
and the door closes by itself, doesn't it? I let go of it, and he went bang on it. But yeah, I'd be interested to know when that's due to turn into a normal fingernail again, because that's been over a month and it hasn't
Well, I lost.
changed at all.
I lost 5 toenails doing the marathon, and
Did you?
yeah, and I
5?
did. Yeah, no, 6. I lost 6
What?
toenails doing the marathon
On the 1 foot.
and I did that in March, I think, and they're only the 2 big nails are still not fully back properly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So
Because basically another nail starts growing underneath, but not like you think. It sort of develops in a weird way. It pushes that
does it?
nail off, and then that's like really bobbly in a
Right.
weird way, and then that grows out. and
I
then-
see.
So it's
So
like,
it's because I was I see. Yeah, because I was imagining it grows from the root up.
no, that's what I thought.
That.
No, it sort of grows the whole new nail, but it's
Under
all
it.
bumpy, and then
Right.
that one falls off, and that's disgusting.
Yeah.
And then it grows out. But because I was looking down at my feet and I didn't recognise my own feet, it was
Right.
horrible.
Yeah.
So you got-
But getting
so-
back to the question about do I enjoy touring, there's three of us on the tour generally. It's Jobbins, who is the tour manager. Do you know Jobbins, Joe? I think you've
I
met
do,
him.
yes. He used to run gigs in the Midlands. Is that right? Is it Midlands?
No, he used to run gigs sort of North London. But
Oh
that's-
yeah, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, nearly. And then there was, and then John Archer, who is.
Oh, is he still supporting you?
Yeah. So,
what's
so
his
it's the three of
bowling
us, and
ball?
So we have a great time. There's a little gang of 3, you know.
Is he still doing his bowling ball trick?
Well, he does. I don't know whether he'll do it on this tour or not, but he does still do that. Yeah.
What's that?
He used to produce a bowling ball from behind. Well, not behind anything. From a
Magic, you mean?
from Magic. He'd have a flip chart. I think you have a flip chart. You draw a picture of a bowling ball, and then the bowling ball is there, and he used to then roll it off the stage, and then on tour, I would then later on roll it on from the other wing across, which was harder than you think because there's quite a rake on a lot of stages. So I used to give it a real curl. The worry was that you just send it straight off the front and
Yeah.
kill someone in the front row. You know. So.
Yeah.
But anyway, the 3 of us have a great time. Yeah. So and I just tend to do 5. I always have Sundays and Mondays off, so it's not. There's a bit of shape to it, you know.
Right.
How long do you do? So I'm always obsessed with how long people do.
I think we'll put in we'll probably do a month and a half and a bit of time off, then maybe another month, bit of time off,
Now,
then
Joe
another
means
month.
actually on the stuff. But what's Joe? What are you scared of? Because you've asked everyone.
No, I'm
that
interested. What's the least I can do?
question.
No, I do a month on stage.
But you have Mondays and Sundays off.
Yeah,
Do the audience stay or do they come?
play music at that point.
So that's the break.
I'll tell you exactly what I do. I do the new hour, Breep, that'll be an hour long, and then I come back for the encore, whether they want it or not. And I do about 10 minutes of stuff like
Classics.
Year and
Yeah.
classics, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so an hour, 10 hour and 15 or something maybe.
So you come on to 10 minutes after your hour?
It's an encore, yeah. That's normal, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm sorry, I thought they had a break for 20 minutes.
No. It's the first half.
Everyone misses their last bus home and then you do 10 minutes.
Do you know what I had? And it ended up being a little bit too involved, so I didn't do it. But I was going to do a thing with Breep, where say due to time restraints, we're going to start with the encore, and so I then come on and then sort of do a bit as though it's an encore, and then somehow at the end of the show there'd be some link to going off.
That's a great
That would
idea.
link to how I was coming on for the. I never quite got my head around what that was, so we stopped doing that.
Right.
There's too much going backwards and forwards at the beginning when, in fact, you just want to get on with it.
Also, you have to remember, I hope they remember what you did.
Exactly, all that. Yeah. It seemed like a nice idea at the time. It made me laugh.
Does sound
privately.
like a nice idea. I'm sort of
It
hoping.
feels like, Joe, if you do a live show, you're going to have to do about 20 minutes and then do an hour.
Yeah.
after a break, something like that.
Yeah.
But would you just do it entirely on your own then?
No, definitely not.
So you have someone in the first
support.
half?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, well, Harry's doing the whole thing on his own, funnily enough. So he's doing, about 2 hours, I think. I find that if I'd rather just go on, do it,
Yeah.
and feel like once I'm off, I'm off.
Yeah.
See, what I'm thinking now, Joe, we're sort of talking about Harry and talking to Tim, sort of talking to two of the best people at it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's easy, you just going, I just do that, and I do you?
Yeah. There's a massive bit in the middle where you write all the funny stuff. There's that bit I'm trying to not think about.
But listen, the most important thing is that if you start well and end well, they'll forgive a lot in the middle.
What about 55 minutes?
Yeah.
You know that 40-minute lull we all get.
They always forget about. Well, they
But there is
don't.
an element of truth to that. I do try and sort of stick a lot of. I try and go off on a bit of a ramp.
Yeah.
I was different with the encore bit because you know that you're doing stuff you've heard before. That's a bit easier, I suppose. But when you're doing Edinburgh, you're trying to sort of just do this hour blast. Would you do Edinburgh? Do it?
No, you didn't do the whole run, did you?
Did.
Fucking hell.
I did it 24 times. I was on stage 24 hours, a whole day.
Fucking hell. What venue were you doing?
Pleasance 1.
How big's that?
I think it's
Can't remember
about
which one.
290, I think.
Which one's Pleasance one? When you go in the courtyard, how'd you get to it?
When you go in the courtyard and you immediately turn left and go up some stairs and stuff.
Oh, I never went down that bit, I don't think. I never had read. I don't think I ever saw a show in Pleasance
What
one.
do you mean down that bit? You can go
No,
in-
sorry, left and
up, but I tell you what's great about it, and I tell you what's all the rage in Edinburgh, which I've never been a massive fan of, is the stage on the floor, and then this,
Right.
Almost every single venue, you're on the floor, and the audience slightly rakes up around you or something.
Less status,
Well, I
isn't
like it when you walk on and they can see your ankles.
Well, you got
Then you've got some
cracking
comedy
ankles.
down there as well,
Yeah.
You haven't got funny ankles. You've got lovely ankles. I've
Thank
seen
you.
your ankles.
But I mean, I just mean that's to me, that's show business. There, that's just one step up. The height of a brick. That's show business.
Are you going on tour, Tim? Did you say?
Next
Yeah,
year.
next year. Yeah. Probably.
Do you
May.
go
Great.
down the southwest? Do you come down the southwest?
Describe some towns.
Torquay.
Exeter.
Definitely. The Barbican Theatre is one of my favourites. Definitely.
Oh,
In Torquay? Is that in Torquay?
Yeah.
brilliant.
Are you doing Theatre Royal again or the Dome? In Brighton.
In Brighton.
Yeah, because you did Theatre Royal last time.
I think. Did I?
Yeah.
I wanted to do the Theatre Royal, but I think it might be.
I think it's tricky
I think
to
they have a lot
hire.
of touring shows there, so you can only really do it on Sundays.
Yeah, people have said it's tricky to hire.
Yeah. So the answer to that is I don't really know. Actually, I haven't been given a list yet. So, but I don't think I'm doing the Dome, and I don't think I'm doing the Theatre Royal. So work that out. All I do know is I will be doing Barbican Theatre.
Oh, I'll be there.
Oh, wonderful.
Great. Oh well, let me know. I'll stick your name on the door.
How do I let you know, Tim?
Well, Joe's got my number.
I've got
Just
Tim's
get my
number.
number off Joe.
Yeah. I'll think about sharing that.
I'm not one of those people who goes, just don't hand out my number willy-nilly. I'm the opposite. Can you hand my number out to as many people as you need?
Does anyone want Tim Vine's number?
Yeah.
Oh, dear. Well,
Thank
Anyway,
you.
sorry,
Thank you.
about quarter of an hour ago, you were trying to wind this up, weren't you?
no, only for your benefit, but we've taken
All
up
right.
a
Yeah,
load
I'm
of your
always
time.
sort of-
Yeah, if we start to
I'm
feel
always thinking,
guilty.
is the guest wanting to sod off now?
Of course they are. Fucking course they are. Jesus wept. They've had enough. Thanks,
Look at the
Tim.
time, it's 12:27, it's almost lunchtime, isn't it?
Oh, my God. Oh, that's lunchtime. Perfect. What are you having for lunch, Tim, before we go?
Well, do you know, I'm sort of, I'm not a great cook. Well, let's put it another way, I don't cook. So it's like saying I'm not a great violinist. I just don't play the violin. I mean, it's true, but I never pick one up. Actually, I have got one upstairs, a violin, and I used to do it in my act where I'd take it out and I'd go, and the music would play something, and I'd go, and scratch, you make all this terrible scratchy noise, and then the music would stop and I go, oh, I know, I've forgotten. Lessons. But yeah, I might have a sandwich is the answer to that.
Thank you.
I'll go to the garage.
You have a BP sandwich for lunch.
Yeah, it is BP actually. No, is
Yeah,
it?
I know. No, it is BP near you, yeah.
It's Marks and Spencer.
It's an M&S in the BP, yeah.
Yeah, maybe you're right.
Yeah. Cool. Well, look, lovely to see you, Tim. Enjoy your sandwich.
Yeah, you too. Great to see you, David. Hope you enjoyed your special surprise guest.
Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Tim. Take care,
Bye,
mate.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.